What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Nerd Alert. I'm here, and we've got James, and we've got Jimmy, and I'm Brandon. And we have another question posed to us from the Internet.
This one's hard. I'm really, thank you for submitting it, but damn, did you bring up some old shit? So it was in two parts. We sort of added to it. The question was, what death of a fictional character most affected you? And then we built on that with what death of a famous person, theoretically in nerddom, most affected you. So we'll start with the fictional one. You have an answer, James?
Oh boy, this has always been. I'm sorry, what order did you say? I completely missed it. Fictional.
That means not real.
I couldn't think of it. Napoleon wasn't real. I'm kidding. God, this is so hard for me because I can think of so many beautifully written and gut-wrenching character deaths that just destroy me every time, and they just make me feel things. And I'm gonna have to give the cop-out answer in a way, because I'm going to say Aerith Gainsborough from Final Fantasy VII. I know that everybody under the sun who has played that game, like, that's the thing that screws them up the most. But it's like that moment, as a person who already knew what was going to happen, like walking into that, knowing what was going to happen, I think it affected me even more, because it's like I knew there was nothing I could do to stop it unless I turned off the game and never finished it. But that's not the point of playing a game. You play it to finish it, to know the story. And so it messed me up, because it's like there's nothing I can do to save her. There's nothing I can do to stop this death. And so it affected me that much more. And it made me really understand the narrative and understand myself so much more because of that. When she dies, it's not just a plot point like there had been in earlier Final Fantasies where characters just die because it's for the plot. Her death is pretty much meaningless in the narrative, in that it's like her death doesn't affect anything, and if anything, it makes it infinitely harder to get anywhere in the story. And it stings so much because of what it does for the rest of the story. It ruins everybody, and it makes so much of the game feel that much more gut-wrenching as you play. And it's every time I get to that moment, I genuinely consider like just stopping right there so I don't have to watch it again. And it's such a powerful moment to just have who is your dedicated healer and your only proficient healer in the game just die, and have like the character who you grow to love die. They're just gone. And it affects me so much, because it's like, I love her as a character. She's such an amazing and well-written character that to just have her be gone is devastating. And it's her actions make her such a beautiful character to just have ripped away is gut-wrenching. And I wish I could give like a full 3-hour character analysis, but I don't want to do that to you guys. So
I wish I could make fun of you, James, but this is not my pick. But similarly, watching or playing Last of Us, when his daughter dies, I tried to play a little after that. I'm like, I hate this fucking game. I'm out. I did not play it anymore. And then when the show came out, I was like, fuck that show. I'm not watching that. I don't want to see his daughter die. Now, Madison, my daughter, and Allison watched it and gushed about it. So I ended up watching it, and it is amazing. But I have not revisited the video game, will not go back to the video game. Fuck that game. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Well, I've never played Final Fantasy, so I didn't know what anything you just said was.
That's
couldn't speak in Italian.
That's fair. It has become one of those, like, sorry, I hate to like take over the conversation, but it's like that has become one of the most famous video game deaths and pop fiction, pop culture deaths of all time. And it's so gut-wrenching. And a lot of people say it because it's like, oh, there's nothing you can do. It's like, it sucks because she's taken away from you. I love it. as a narrative beat, but it also kills me because it's like the understanding of her character for the rest of the game is a martyr that never got to do what she intended to do. And so it's like, it's not the classic martyr of the whole point is that they die. It's the martyr that they should have had a little more time to do what they needed to do.
See, we play different video games because in the video games I play, when the healer dies, they just get respawned, and that's way cooler, and you don't have to cry about it.
Not in Final Fantasy VII.
Love it. Love it.
Brandon,
what's your pick?
Can I tell you the first person that came to mind just because it was devastating? Like, I've never rewatched I think I've rewatched the show one time. It's not one I'll revisit a lot. Not that it was bad by any means. It's just not something I often put back on. But the first thing that came to mind when you asked this question was Opie from Sons of Anarchy. That fucked me up when they killed him off.
Oh my god!
I loved Opie so much, and I was just like, no, not my boy.
And as it's happening, I'm literally like, oh, did Jax? Is he like leaving the show? Charlie Hunnam.
I'm thinking anyone else. It wasn't great, but the fact that
then Opie's like, boom, I'm going in, boom. You're like, I did not see that.
And they make you watch it. That's the worst part.
That's
I
absolutely
remember that one messed me up. But I think the one that I think was the most impactful was actually, and comics is hard because I was thinking about this and I'm like, man, I can't think of a death that fucked me up with this person isn't back now. Like Blue Beetle, when Maxwell Lord kills him, he's back now. That one lasted for a while, though, so I didn't know he was coming back. But I think the one that really messed me up to begin with was Tim Drake's father in Identity Crisis, because it's this moment when basically the story of Identity Crisis is someone is taking out loved ones of the heroes. So somebody knows their secret identities, and Tim Drake calls Oracle and I was told to call this when, there's an emergency and someone's in the house trying to get me, and they patch him through to Batman, and Batman and Robin are in the Batmobile, and they're trying to get a hold of either or of Wally, and he's off doing something else. So Batman has to rush back, and he's on the phone with his father, and his father's just telling him like, I'm proud of you. You're Robin. It's something to be proud of. I love you. And he gets in there and he sees his dad murdered by Captain Boomerang. And there's this drawing. It's a panel shot, and it's Batman holding Robin over his dead father. And it just says Batman and Robin, orphans. And I remember just being like, oh, this is like the most powerful page I've read in any comic, and still get goosebumps when I tell people about it, man. It was a heavy one. So that would definitely be my answer to that question. Yeah, that one gets me every time I reread it.
When the writers do anything with death in Batman, you know it is going to rip your fucking heart out and crush it.
Oh, Google it when you can. Just Infinite Crisis, Tim Drake, Orphan or whatever, I bet, or Identity Crisis. And man, it's a heavy photo, and it's just one of those things that it's like, because Tim Drake too, he was the Robin who wanted to be Robin. He found out who Batman was. He figured it out. He volunteered for it. He wasn't thrown into this situation. And then it's just like, he still ends up just like Batman. It's a heavy one, but that is definitely the one that got me the most. And there's some wild deaths in that book too. That's a great story, but that's me. What about you, Jimmy? What do you got?
Like both of you, a couple popped to mind. I loved Dexter, and when his wife Rita got killed, and,
that was a rough one too.
That one hurt. Going with Brandon, what he said when Superman died in the 80s, comic book. That was, we knew he was coming back. Come on, really? But at the same time, the way he died with Doomsday and the rise of the 4 non-Supermen. It was just brilliant the way they played it off. So it's not necessarily affected me that way, but it was like a really awesome storyline. But the one that I got to go to is Top Gun, Goose. I remember seeing that in the theater, and it was like me and my teenage friends. I think we were in junior high, maybe late elementary school. We're like, yeah, watching it. And Goose dies, And no lie, I'm sitting there next to my friends trying to hide crying because like, holy fucking shit. Like I thought we were just watching a movie about jet planes and
What the fuck?
Bruce died. What the fuck? And then when Maverick came out and just kind of brought all his emotions back, and Maverick is a way awesome, better movie than the first one, but you need the first one to build it. That was probably the biggest death that affected me, especially as a kid. We're like, I'm supposed to be a teenage boy that doesn't give a shit about anything, and now I'm like, Goose died, motherfucker.
Talk to me, Goose.
Like what the fuck? I thought I was gonna go see an action movie with my friends, and now I'm hiding tears from them.
I know it was so bad, and I didn't. For all I know, they were also like streaming down, but I was like,
dude, I remember watching it when we first watched it for like movie night as a family, and it's like Goose is like, I legitimately thought he was just knocked unconscious. It's like they're not going to kill somebody in just like a hokey action movie, and he's dead. And I'm like,
no, he's dead, dude.
What is going on?
That guy is dead.
He ain't a comic book character.
This guy are dead.
And I do want to give an honorable mention to another one that was shocking, and I don't know if you guys have seen this. I believe it was both versions. Night of the Living Dead. The poor black guy Ben is the hero the whole way through, and then at the end when he's like, "Hey!" boom, the cops shoot him, and you're like, I did not see that coming.
No,
like,
that sucked. I hated that because it's like they
that
survived cool. And then they didn't.
No, those specifically Goose, those James, I can't speak to yours because
that's completely fair.
But I agree with Brandon, and those deaths, and it's weird because you're like. We talked about Chewbacca not too long ago. It's like, I'm done reading those future Star Wars books because Chewbacca's not in them. Fuck you. It's just weird that these fictional characters affect you in a way you're like, nope, I'm out. I'm not going to pay attention to your universe anymore because you killed my character.
And I would like to pause if we're doing honorable mentions. As a writer, I think Darth Vader has affected the way I write so much more, like as a character death. Just like the fact that it's like he's redeemed, but he's only redeemed for that brief moment. And like that's such a crucial moment that like made me write the way I do with characters. And you know what? Black Tom from Deadpool 2.
You killed him. You racist.
You're racist.
You're a racist. That death personally affected me because he was Black Tom and he did deserve to die. That's it.
Now moving on to the other part of that question, which was either celebrities or writers or whatever. We'll give a quick shout out. We just lost Val Kilmer, which was super depressing. I have been using my Batman Forever McDonald's glass to stay hydrated this whole filming. I sent you guys a video. I poured one out to him.
I'm like, so nostalgic for Val, and I'm like, I'm gonna go watch Batman Forever. I couldn't.
I have the whole set, by the way. I do have the whole set.
We watched Edward Nygma come on, and I'm like, I can't. And luckily, I got to see Jon Favreau in the background. I didn't even know he was in the movie, but I'm like, I can't watch this. You
could have picked Tombstone.
Well, no, I watched Willow. I was looking for Real Genius. I couldn't find that anywhere. Top Secret. So I was working through them, and I'm just like, I can't with this. But yes, Val Kilmer. Super sad.
As far as I still have a lot of people that I idolize that have not, that are getting on in years, and it worries me because I'm gonna have some very bad days in front of me and some movie marathons that I'm gonna watch teary-eyed. But I think the one that really got me in recent memory was David Bowie. I know that's been almost a decade now. It's been a while, but that one sucked. And yeah, I'm a huge Bowie fan, and I was not ready for that. I remember I read it like going down the stairs. I was doing something. I think the Oscars were on, and somebody tweeted out, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" The rest of the night, I was just like, "Who gives a shit about the Oscars? He's lost David Bowie."
And that's the kind of feeling we're talking about, where it's like, I'm assuming you've never met David Bowie. I'm assuming you didn't hang out with him, but that death just affected you. It's like, oh, man, that hurts.
You
Totally
know,
understand.
there's actually something that tracks with his death because I think he died, 2016, at the beginning of the year, and then everything's been shit since then. And I was hoping, I was listening. Actually, there's a podcast I listened to that they were talking about how like he was the ultimate good in the world, and when he died, everything went to shit because he was the ultimate good that didn't want the responsibility but was given it. And then on the flip side of that, the ultimate bad was Henry Kissinger, and that's why everything sucked for so long. And he died, so we thought there'd be a reset with two new avatars of good and bad, but it just feels like it's just continually getting worse. So that theory no longer tracks.
Before the dark times, before the
Yes.
Empire.
But what about either who wants to go next?
Well, it's funny you bring that up, James, and I'll jump on this because mine is similar in that I feel like when this person passed, the world went to hell, and it's Carrie Fisher. When my Disney
Was that around the
princess,
same time?
Let me think here. She died. I don't know if it was the same time, but I know it was right before. Oh my God, December 27, 2016. So yes.
Oh
That's
yeah,
insane.
okay. Within a year, we lost Carrie Fisher and fucking David Bowie.
God
And
damn it.
What a bunch of
she
shit.
died of a drug overdose, and everybody I think knows that she had a lot of problems with that, throughout her whole life. But her voice and her outspokenness, especially like at the beginning of the Me Too movement, I really needed her now that we've looked back during the Donald Trump era. The stories her real life story is like fucking balls to the wall. Like, I don't know the producer exactly, but there was a producer that basically pulled a Harvey Weinstein on one of her friends. She sent that producer a cow tongue in a gift box and was like, if you ever fucking do that again, I will take your tongue out and your balls. And I'm like, fucking Carrie Fisher, man, you are awesome. I love you. And the fact that she was Princess Leia and the fact that she was able to come back and be Princess Leia, but Leia Organa as the general. And then on a very, 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 very selfish side of things, that she passed away before that we can get the Rise of Skywalker, which was going to be her story, as they were talking about. The first one was Han Solo, the second one was Luke Skywalker, the last one was going to be Princess Leia. Was hard, but just that with the world lost that person, nobody will ever be like her again in real life and in the movies. And you go back and you're like, oh my God, she was in The Burbs. Fucking hilarious. She was in Soapfish. Fucking hilarious. The movie she was in, The Blues Brothers. Just the thing she did, you don't even think.
I mean, that's one of my favorite movies of all time, man.
Let's not forget her pivotal role in Jay and Silent Bob.
Exactly. Exactly. And you come to find out she was a ghostwriter, and she made so many Hollywood scripts better because she didn't have her name on it, but she would offer suggestions and people would come to her with how to make this better. She was just an amazing person, an amazing woman.
30 Rock.
And oh God, that whole turn on 30 Rock was hilarious. But then to know that she was the daughter of Debbie Reynolds, who was an icon in Hollywood, and that she had to overcome that, and that she wrote a book called Postcards from the Edge, which then became a movie and was regarded with, Academy Awards and all that with Meryl Streep. It's just amazing to me who she was and what she did, and even the reason why she was on an airplane coming back from England. And that's where there was, she went into cardiac arrest and she passed away. She was over there filming a TV show called Catastrophe, starring Rob Delaney, which I absolutely love, which you guys should check out. She was his mom in the show. Just awesome. I literally was at work at UNLV, closed my door and cried because Carrie Fisher died. And that will always be my favorite princess. She was amazing. I miss her almost every day.
I almost feel like the line in Star Wars is it Max von Sydow, where he says something about, or Oscar Isaac says
General
Organa. General, and she's like, she'll always be a princess to me, or what is the line?
Always be royalty to me.
Royalty to me. And it's like, yeah, dude, like that is that. And I just think like, even as that character, like it's such an empowering character, and it's different because it was played by her. Like, I think anybody else in that role would just be Princess Leia, but like because of who she was off screen and who she was as Princess Leia, like especially when she kills Jabba, and it's like by that time, it's like she is just shown she is not to be fucked with. She infiltrated him. She, you know, like I love that character and what it represents as well. And that was
And I love
another
how
one that
it's developed even more.
2016 sucked.
Because now we have,
2016 sucked.
Rogue One. We have Rogue One. I love this. Rogue One, where Darth Vader's watching Tantive 4 go away, and he's like, ah! And like 5 minutes later, he's confronting Princess Leia. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have the plans.
What plans?
Like, that is one badass female that's looking at the
She's
scariest
the
dude in the whole universe. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
And he's like, he literally saw them leaving the battle, and she's like, I don't know, whatever.
Without Princess Leia, and
me.
therefore, without Princess Leia, and therefore Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia and Leia Organa, you don't get so many other amazing female leads in the modern era, because she was one of the pivotal characters that revolutionized storytelling and strong female leads. And it's like the best way I can put it is, if you've seen Kenobi, Leia's a feral child. She's crazy, and she carries that whole way through. Like, my favorite scene.
A feral child.
My favorite scene in episode 8 is where she just shoots Poe. She just like no holds. She just shoots him. She's like, all right, put him in the med bay. It's like, she's baller. She gives no fucks. I love
is we have this whole now storyline of Star Wars, and we've always known, well, not always known, but we've been aware Luke is Anakin's kid. Yeah. Luke acts more like Padme in a lot of ways, whereas Princess Leia is more like Darth Vader in a lot of ways. We're like, fuck this.
Far more.
Yeah.
Guns blazing.
I love it. I love it.
What about you, James?
Carrie Fisher.
I could bring up an endless list of people who have passed away that I feel like have affected me in different ways. And I do want to say that Akira Toriyama was a big one. I just want to honorably mention him because his contribution to the anime industry was huge. But the big one I want to bring up, kind of like what Brandon said, when we lost Meatloaf, I think I lost a part of myself, because I loved his music. I loved the roles he was in. But knowing he left us and passed away, it was like, it just made everything he did a little more special, and everything he has contributed to music and film and whatnot just a little more special. Sure, he didn't do a lot.
He was phenomenal, man.
But
he was phenomenal. He was really good for
what he did
the
do.
Things he was in.
He made the power ballad with Jim Steinman. Without those two, you don't get Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bat Out of Hell, I Would Do Anything for Love. You don't get that like hokey, over the top, beautiful power ballad. You don't get modern musicals in a way. You don't get so much of like pop culture, and even in a way like film scores, because of those two. And it's like, knowing he passed away and hearing that, it's like, what he was able to do as an actor and a performer was that much more special. And his music to me is so much more special, because both Steinman and Meatloaf have passed away. And so what they did get to do with the time they had, and the fact that they did get to reconcile before they passed, is just so powerful to me. Every time I put the vinyl on my turntable and I start playing it, it's like, I get a little melancholy, because I will never get to see him perform live, because he was one of my favorite performers of all time. But the fact that I still get to listen to his music and know that he did such awesome stuff, I'll be happy that I still got something awesome from him.
Yeah, 100%.
James knows this, and I'm not rubbing it in. James knows. I saw him in concert.
You lucky bastard.
In the 90s, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. It was at Blossom Music Center in just outside Cleveland, Ohio. And it was shitty weather, just raining, and sucked. And it's an outdoor amphitheater. He was so amazing, because he came out, and this is on his I Would Do Anything for Love tour, and he'd been nothing for a long time. And he acknowledged that. And he said, thank you so much for welcoming me back. I basically squandered my first chance, and I didn't necessarily deserve this. And it was just like heartfelt the way he came up and thanked the fans. And you get that at some concerts with some musicians, but for him to come out and do that, it was like, wow, dude, that is really, really impressive. I really like. He's not talking to me. I get it, and he could be.
Yeah,
lying.
but that's awesome that you're acknowledging.
It really
that,
was.
like, you're not bigger than what you're doing.
It really was, and he knew what he had been, and that he was literally at the height, and he lost it all, and he was so thankful that we came out and saw him, and I was obviously talking to the whole crowd, that we saw him and we saw him perform, and the weather was shitty, and he was still performing. This goes, and I love him in Fight Club, and now some of the other movies he did, but just him doing that was like, dude, I already liked you, and the fact you did that, you took it over the top. Thank you, I appreciate it.
He was incredible, and my favorite little tidbit is that when he first saw Rocky Horror as like a stage musical when he was about to audition, he thought it was the weirdest shit. He thought it wouldn't be successful. He walked out of the theater, and then he like sat for like a day and realized, wait a minute, this shit is brilliant. Never mind. And he went back and he auditioned and he got a role, and it's like he leaned into it so much.
Yeah,
and I love that.
He's
it's
so
like
good.
Exactly. He was so humble and so forthright about what he did. And I appreciate his story as a person, because he knew he goofed and he came back, rose from the ashes, made one of the best goddamn albums of all time, which was a sequel to one of the best goddamn albums of all time, and just never stopped being awesome.
Well, hell yeah. I think those are all solid picks here. Well, that was a more emotional question than we realized going in, but thank you for asking it.
Internet.
You guys, this has been fun. Thank you guys for just engaging with us in these kind of things, because if not, we just sit here and annoy our friends and significant others with all this knowledge we have pent up in our head. So it's nice that other people want to hear us talk about some stuff. So that's also awesome. But thank you for submitting those. Please submit more if you guys have anything else you want to know. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
And let us know about some of the deaths in the industry, whether fictional or real, that have really affected you, because it's always awesome.
Yes, guarantee we forgot some, but please, bring them up. And
there's a good 10 names that someone's gonna put, and I'm gonna look and be like, oh my god, I forgot how much that fucked me up.
Don't remind me, no.
And we might have a sequel.
We've opened Pandora's box.